Hi, good afternoon and welcome to the Natters Knits podcast. Today is Sunday the 5th of June and it's 2016. As you can see, the weather is actually really quite nice, so I've decided to come outside. Excuse me. I was going to podcast this morning and I did try and sit out here then, but it was so hot and I ended up with a little bit of sunstroke, so I decided it wasn't a good idea and I went back inside again and waited till it cooled down a bit. So it's now 5:30 in the afternoon. Hopefully we won't get disturbed by too many trains. If we do, I'm really sorry in advance for that. So thank you very much everybody for taking the time out to check me out, and for those that you've come back, thank you very much, I do appreciate it, and for those of you that are new, well, thanks very much for coming. It is a knitting podcast, so without any further ado, I'll get on with some knitting. Actually no, let's show you first. I've got a new addition to the family. No, it's not the grandbaby, it's this. I went looking for presents for the grandbaby and I came across this in a shop and I couldn't resist. You know how everybody knows how much I love sheep, and so I got this one. I haven't got a name for him yet, and I did actually buy two of them. I bought one for the grandbaby and realised I liked it so much I bought one for myself too. It's really naughty, isn't it? So here's my sheep. It does rattle. Very sad, I know, but there it is. So this is the sheep. I suppose I ought to have a thread asking for his name, but I'm sure you could put the comments below and tell me what you think. So today I've got a little bit of stash enhancement, only one thing. I've got a couple of magazines to show you. I've got some work in progress, and I've got the draw for last month's knitting. For the completed items. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, go over to Ravelry.com, sign up if you're already not a member, and if you search for Natters Knits, and that's Natters with a K, join our group there and you'll see that we actually have a thread where you can post your finished objects for that month, and then I draw a prize for one of them for just carrying on knitting. Really, that's all you have to do, is finish something and post your picture. So what I thought I might do actually is get that out of the way first. So I've already been online and seen that there are 4 entries this month, so they're number 23 to 26, and I don't know if you can see, but I put that into random.org. I'm just going to, it comes back down to the page, come back, generate. Now for some reason it's telling me I've got no Wi-Fi out here. I don't know why. Aha, I've got an answer now. Sorry, I'm going to pause now because there's a train coming past. No, you can't see that, but it is noisy. So that's the number there, that's the winner. So let's now have a look on the page and see who that is. So it's on the first page. And this is becoming a habit. It's number 25, and 25 is Crazy About Knitting. So Marnie, congratulations. And what have you won? Well, this month we have a skein of this. It's more purple than it appears in the picture. It's Artisanal Aran, Superfine Alpaca and Peruvian Highland Wool. Its colour is dusk, which is quite apt really when you think about the time of day I'm recording. There's 100 grams and there's 132 metres, or 144 yards if you prefer it in metric. So I will put that in the post to you in the next week or so. Baby arrival pending, of course. So congratulations to Molly again. There's only one thing, you know. You've got to get more people in, and then she's got less chance of winning, hasn't she? Actually no, she's got as equal a chance as she did have before, because it's a random generator. So I don't know if you've noticed the more relaxed me today. I'm on holiday. I started my holiday yesterday and I've got a whole week off, so I'm just chilling and enjoying the sunshine, the beautiful, I don't know if you can see, it's quite dappled at the moment, but it is gorgeous. It's lovely and warm. most unusual in the UK, especially in the north of the UK for a winter's evening, a summer's evening, I mean, winter, what am I like? But here it is. So this is really, really lovely. I've had a lie-in this morning, I've chilled, I've done a bit of knitting, and I've not done a lot else really. So, on with the knitting. As I said, I have a work in progress, and it's the same work in progress I've been working on for quite some time now. It's from this ball of shopper wool in the reds, pinks and purples. And you may remember I'm doing the 22.5 degrees shawl by Martina Bain. What I liked about this pattern is the fact that it is actually a much shallower shawl. It's not a great big triangle, it's still a triangle, but it's much shallower. And what I've done this week is I've actually transferred it onto some very, very long needles. These are my signatures, interchangeables, and the numbers worn off, so I can't remember what size they are, but that's them. And this is how it's looking. It's much better now it's on the longer needles because you can see it better. She says. There we go. Isn't that pretty? I love the colours. You've got pinks and reds, purples, different shades of purples, and the idea is that eventually it will wrap round. I look like that. Really is nice, but it's too warm for it today. Far too warm. I'm not sure of the temperature, but it is far too warm. And I've done, since I spoke to you last, that's where my marker is, just there. So I've done a good 2 inches, about that. But of course it's taking longer now because it's so long. Come right back here, you'll see what I mean. Huge. Sorry, there's a bumblebee here, so if I just get a bit panicky, that's why. So that's that one. Now, what have you been up to this week? It's been one of my weeks where I've been in Yorkshire again, and it's been a busy week. What did I do? I taught first, on Monday it was a bank holiday here in the UK. I think it was Memorial Day in the States, and I was very, very tired and had a lot of prep still to do for this last week just gone. So I did that. Then on Tuesday I taught first aid all day in Rotherham in Yorkshire, and then on Wednesday and Thursday I was in Huddersfield at another home teaching people about safeguarding of vulnerable adults, and they're going to become the trainers for my company on that subject. So that was great. They were a really good course, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. Stayed in a lovely hotel. It didn't have a restaurant as such, but it did have a restaurant next door that actually provided bed and breakfast, and it provided room service. Sorry, as you can tell, I'm still quite tired. But it was an Italian restaurant, so one night I had a great big bowl of pasta, the next night I had a pizza. It was really lovely. Excuse me, the hay fever's a bit bad at the moment. In fact, quite a few podcasters I know that are struggling with this. I was watching Nathan, the Sockmaticians podcast, earlier on today, and he seemed to be struggling with his hay fever, and now I'm getting a little bit prickly-eyed and snuffly nose, but never mind. That's what you get for having nice weather, I suppose. You can't have it both ways. Oh, it's just so peaceful here. I'm really, really enjoying just sitting out here. I don't know if you can hear the birds singing, but they're really giving it some welly at the moment. Oh, excuse me. So yesterday was my first day off, and I did the usual things like shopping. Oh dear, sorry, this is really bad, isn't it? So I did that, and then we had to nip to the hospital in Blackpool, which has a regional cardiac unit in, because my husband's been wearing one of those 24-hour tapes just to check that he's okay since his operation. So we took that back in. We also had lunch at Pizza Hut. Yeah, it's been a week at pizza. I need to get back on a much healthier diet, don't I? And we went, when we were in Preston, I decided, and we were getting pizza, I decided I'd go and raid WH Smith's. WH Smith's, for those of you outside the UK, I don't know if you have it where you are, is a newsagent's come stationers, bookseller, that sort of thing. And I got myself this. It's called Knitting. It's July issue 156, entitled This is a Man's World. And the theme obviously is men and knitting. So they interview quite a few famous male knitters, Stephen West of course, and who else have they? Shannon Mullet-Bowlesby, who's a US-based crochet and knitting designer. Bruce Feinstein. Martin Story. John Dunn-Ballum, who's an indie dyer and spinner, and he owns the company Easy Knits. Oh, I love his yarn, that's really nice. And Charles Gandy as well, who's a knitter and artist, who's taken a whole new direction in sock knitting, his recent book, The Embellished Sock, Knitted Art for the Foot, and he's got an exhibition as well. He's also qualified as a master knitter with the US body, the Knitting Guild Association, so quite a large spread there on men in knitting, which I thought was really, really fascinating. So, this is some gorgeous, gorgeous patterns in here. Really nice ones. And something I really love, a bit of sense of humour, for every man's man cave, is this. It's a knitted bison head that you can put inside the man cave. I love it. So there's all sorts of things in here, some beautiful patterns as I said. Yeah, I haven't bought this one for a long time, so it's quite a nice thing to see. And there's some lovely, lovely things. Look at all the colour on there. I mean, food for thought or what? The second magazine I got, I think, is a US one, and this is called Knitting as well, or Designer Knitting, this one. It's a spring and summer edition. And the reason I bought it is because they've done a feature on artisanal knits in hand paints, and obviously with me doing that sort of thing, just on the quiet, not in a huge way, but because I really love indie dyers, I thought I'd have a look and see what they said. And look at this. Look at those, wow. Really inspiring. Not to make them, but to do some of my own, of course. And that's what I'm supposed to have been doing this weekend. I got a call on the email on Friday for a surprise designer challenge, but it has to be in by tomorrow morning, and I'm supposed to be swatching at the moment, but I've lost my mojo, so I'm not sure whether I'm going to submit or not. But I was trying to do that. So I've been doing all sorts of things really, a lot of thinking, and then I'm going to blame Nathan, the sock magician, for this one. I watched his podcast and he was saying how he, since he'd taken up knitting, hadn't been doing as much reading. And it got me to thinking about how, as a child and as a teenager and in my early 20s, I used to adore books, and I could be found curled up on a comfy chair with a book and I'm just getting completely engrossed in it. And I thought, you know, I haven't done that for a very long time, in fact 30 years or so, and I really could do with giving myself some time like that. And then I was playing around on my iPad and I found that I'd got an ebook that I didn't know about actually on my iPad. Well, 120 pages later, my husband comes down and says, "Do you think you want to do your podcast? And how about tea?" And I'm thinking, oh, whoops. And that's, I suppose, why I don't read so much now, but also what I miss about it. I had got so engrossed that when I started reading it was 2 o'clock and it was 5 o'clock when he came and said to me about it. Yeah, it's addictive, isn't it? So today I'm having a chill out day. and thinking about my journey tomorrow, because tomorrow I'm on holiday for the week. I am going down to see my daughter. So that's the middle one, who's the one that's expecting a baby, and baby is due this week, so I'm going down to plonk myself down there for a bit, just to see if he pops out or if he's going to wait till I turn around and come home again. What's the betting, eh? So that's what I'm planning for this week. I want to get my shawl finished if I can. I've also got the baby blanket I started for the baby, that I need to crack on with and finish. Is it going to be finished before he's born? I doubt it, but I'm going to try. And anyway, it's not the weather for needing blankets right now. He'd probably be alright without. But one of the things I wanted to show you is stash enhancement, but not stash enhancement, because I haven't bought it. This is a Prezi. And this is it. Look at that yarn. Isn't it gorgeous? Love the colours. Spring or summer, I reckon. And it's by a company I've never heard of before, so that's good too. It's by Fleabobs and Lala, and their address is www.fleabobsbylala.co.uk or facebook.com/fleabobsbylala and etsy.com fleabobsbylala. It's a hand-dyed yarn. The colourway is called Wild Thing. It's superwash merino tweed. It's DK, there's 100 grams of it, and there's about 225 metres. Hand wash gently and dry flat. Slight colour bleeding may occur. Well, yeah, that's a given, isn't it, really? But that's it. And this was part of my birthday present from Ellie. So thank you very much, Ellie. I also got a lovely picture, and I have a sneaking suspicion it's one of my favourited on Etsy. That's come my way, so thank you so much for that. It's a lovely countryside picture, and we're going to have to get a train again now, sorry, so we'll stop for that. Okay, now that's passed off. That was weird because the whole ground shook as well. So that's that one. Yes, it's been a busy old week, and I'm just beginning. I don't know if you can see how tired I've been, and I hadn't realised. Just beginning to chill out now. Could do with another week of just doing this, sitting out in the sunshine, enjoying the weather. There's a few clouds over there, but nothing much. In fact, do you want to see what I can see? Let's turn you around. There we go. What do you think of that? Isn't it a lovely view? I'm a lucky girl living here, I really am. Birds, grass, my rose bushes. Oh, it's just very quintessentially English, I suppose. Now, last time we were on, I was talking to you about Spinzilla, and Ellie from Goth Heart Creations and I have been doing some chatting, and we've decided we're going to combine forces for Spinzilla, as she announced on her podcast, which was just a few days ago. So we're now looking to put together a team from all over the world. There will be prizes just for our team, as well as us entering into the big global thing that Spinzilla is. So if you are interested in spinning and you'd like to spin, even if it's just only a little bit, we'd love to have you on our team. Obviously, the more you can spin, the better. I'm going to look at booking a week off so I can actually spin for a whole week this time, rather than just catching moments after work like I did last time. But I still managed a nice healthy 3 miles or so that was good. And yeah, so that's our plan is for October. So if you're interested, go and have a look on the Spinzilla website. That's spinzilla.org. So I'm just watching a very interesting beetle. It's beautifully coloured. It's a bit like a kingfisher. It's those greeny blues and orangey reds. Quite amazing for a tiny little beetle. Anyway, so that's Spinzilla, and We're hoping to take part in that in October, but obviously if we don't get a full team then we're not going to do so well, so come on guys, sign up please, that would be really, really good. Then apart from that, I'm not going to give myself any more challenges this summer. I've decided that enough is enough. I need to chill out and enjoy my knitting because it has been a real pressure and stress recently. So I'm just going to make the most of trying to finish some of the very large amount, my husband would probably say, of unfinished objects. And I'm going to try and get through. I've got some beautiful hand-dyed yarns, quite a few skeins really. So I'm going to try and do those. As I mentioned, I joined the Shawl Society, and I think it's probably on Wednesday of this next week that the first shawl is due out. So that's Curious Handmaids shawls, so we shall see what happens there. I'm still trying to play with the idea of doing some more designing, but I'm not rushing to do it because I just want to get back into enjoying my knitting again. So my question for this week, and I want to start a new thread, is what sort of things do you knit for pleasure that you like to do? Not because they're obligation knitting, but things that you just like to do. And what yarns do you like to make them in? So I'd love to hear your thoughts on that one. Do drop me a line on the Ravelry Natas Knits group and let me know. I'm going to try and cut my losses now before we get another train come past. Just as I think the lighting's about right, I'm going to stop there. It's been lovely chatting to you again. I know this isn't a very long podcast. I'm going to try and remember this week to put the Navajo plying one that I promised you last time onto the end of this episode. I'm not promising it, but I'm going to try. I'm really sorry about that, folks. I just get to the end of the editing, I'm just uploading something and I think, do it again. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Oh, that was the other thing I wanted to talk to you about. Spinning and knitting. Do you ever submit to local shows, agricultural shows, things like that? The reason I'm asking is because our local guild run a class in our local show called Great Eccleston Show, and it happens in July usually, and there are 9 classes there, and there are all sorts of spinning, knitting, weaving, dyeing entries that you can put in, and we're supposed to all be putting, sorry, another train coming. That one's going up to Scotland. There are quite a few classes and I need to get a wriggle on really, and get something entries sorted out for that. So do you ever submit to county shows or local shows? What sort of things would you submit? We've got classes for things spun from raw fleece, things from tops. Oh, I'm sorry, I've got a great big spider on the top of my camera now. I'm not going to freak out, but I wish it would go away. I'm not happy with it. Go away. Go on, shoot. Fortunately you can't see it, and it isn't near the screen at the moment. No, it's going. No, it is. It's coming nearer. I apologise if you suddenly get a spider crawling all over the front of the camera. It's gone. Well, it's fallen down the back anyway, so it shouldn't bother us for a minute or two. So that is some of the pressure I put on myself for this time, because it'll be our guild meeting next week, and I should need to have some things ready. I've got some wool that I can do, and I thought, oh yeah, I've got a knitted item I can put in, so that's okay. I think I've got a couple of things, but we've got quite a few competitive people in our guild who try to get all 9 prizes, because there's a cup if you get the most. So I don't think I'm going to be in for that one somehow, mainly because I've been doing so much recently that is non-knitting, but we'll give it a go and see what happens. So I am going to close now, I promise I will. Thank you very much for taking the time to see me, and I hope you have a fantastic week. I hope the weather's as great for you as it is here, because it's really, really nice. And take care, happy knitting, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.